Alright, on this episode of Cutting with Cuddy, we got Lingcod and a Rockfish. We're going to go through both of them and how I fillet them. So we'll start with the ling, because it's a little bit bigger and a little bit easier to do. So this is a nice 72 centimeter Lingcod we got this morning, swinging swim baits on rock ledges. And this is a beautiful fish to take, perfect size, not too big, not a big breeding fish, just, you know, nice and legal, right in that size where you want to harvest. Just brush off the wasp with your fillet knife, and again, like with Chinook, we come up with the collar, cut it way into the head. And I started along the backbone. And the Lingcod, you got to go right through the rib cage because the pin bones are connected to it. And you just run the knife right through them. Flip them over. And always, when you do this, the other side, you always want the belly facing towards you. So again, you come up underneath this fin here, way up into the head. Make sure you get all your meat. Run the knife flat. And remove your second fillet. Stack your fillets on top of each other. Nice clean backbone. On both sides. I missed a little bit here, but it happens when you're filleting fish. Alright, you're gonna come up here to the head, and just like on the Chinook, we take the collars off of these fish too. All great eating. So you break them off just like so. Big collar. You can steam them, fry them, boil them, bake them. They're great eating. Fish wings, as we like to call them up here. And again, flip the fish over. I come up high. There's a bone here, so you gotta kind of figure where that bone is to make a cut. And cut through that bone right there, and then again cut up high here. And then once you make a cut, you can break and then trim out. A little bit more bony than a salmon, a little hardier of a fish. And now before we're done here, we're gonna remove the cheek off of these because these are great eating. And you're gonna come right here, flexing your knife towards you. And it's a bad form to cut towards yourself, but the cheeks kind of have to. I cut it way up high into the head and around. And then I break that jawbone there. And normally you can just make a slight incision here. Break it free of that eye socket. Stick your finger in. You can get it right here. There we go. Right along the skin. And you just pull. And then you come off on the other side. And around the side here. Try to find where the bones are. That's one Lingcod cheek. Beautiful Lingcod cheek. Great eating. And again, what you do to one side, you do to the other. So come here. Again, I roll the knife right around, feeling the bones, cutting away where I can, all the way up into high into the eye. You guys can see I'm cut way up high into the eye. Scrape out, like so. Break this back, and then, ow, ooh, that knife's sharp. I just cut myself.
Take a couple of free scallops.
Yeah, just like scallops. That's one clean Lingcod, like that.
What do you think the deal is with the blue meat?
I love the blue meat. I think it's awesome. So actually, we're gonna show you guys how to eye skin a Lingcod. Actually, over here. So you can feel down, feel pin bone stop about here. So with the pin bone stop, I make an incision, and I come through like so, skinning it right off. Boom. Drop that in there. I'm bleeding pretty good here. I have a towel here, so we're gonna just minor accidents happen when you're using a sharp knife and you're not paying attention. So I'm gonna blow off my hand and keep going. Ain't no sissies around here. Alright, so when you come over here, we got the rib cage here and the pin bones. So I like coming down here, right along that, missing the pin bones like so. And then I'll scrape this top loin off the skin, just like so. So that's another piece of fish. And then right here, we got the ribs and everything. So what I do is I take this off the skin and then I'll butcher it off of this. So come around through here with the knife, take it off the skin like so. Dogfish food there. Now the bones. And that's all your pin bones and your ribs. So your pin bones run down here. So what I do is I come on this side of the pin bones. Now this was attached to the skin. Cut down right to the ribs. Once you hit the ribs, you just scrape that meat off. Just like so. So that is pin bones and ribs, and that is another piece of meat.
Okay. Let's move on to that rockfish.
Yeah, we'll move on to that rockfish. So that's how you do it. A lot of people you see waste that whole belly section. I've seen a lot of guides just zip right through the fish and cut that right off. So that's a good way to get a little bit more meat off of your fish and use everything. So with the rockfish again, cut up high into the head. And then you have these nice bones here, the spines, and they tell you right where the backbone is. So you just kind of come along those spines and work your way down. Once you get to the tail, you push through, work your way up, come back through like so, all the way down through the ribs, fold your fillet over, and take your time when you're doing this, right? You don't want to like rush yourself through it. You miss a lot of meat if you do that.
I'm gonna bring it this way a bit.
Yep. Take your fillet off. That's one fillet. Flip them over. And then when you're doing the gut side, again, get up high, cut down low, and push your knife right through that fish. Ooh, missed a little bit there. Oh, alright. Well, I was getting a little overzealous there. But, as you can see, I was just gonna push my way right through those ribs like that. There's your skin, there's your fillet, a little bit mangled in the tail there, but it'll still eat nice. And then we come up here and we trim away those ribs. There's not much meat under the rockfish ribs, so you kind of have to lose it, which kind of sucks. If you eat the whole fish, you can do it differently, but we're doing fish and chips, so we are going to lose some. As you can see here, as you cut down, even if you're trying to cut it past those pin bones, you're not going to get anywhere. So you can really make it easier by just cutting like that. You lose a little bit of the belly, but again, we'll probably end up throwing that in our crab trap and using it somewhere else. So not going to be wasted. And then when it comes to this, start, peel, pull, scrape, whatever you want to call it, pull that out. There's a little bit of bones here, so I'll trim that out. And that's another piece of rockfish. You could also take the collars off these if you so please, but that's all going to go into my crab trap, so a little more the merrier with the bait.
How's your thumb doing?
Bleeding a little bit, but we're good.
Under the rockfish.
So now we're going to break down this other side of the ling. We didn't know if we had enough time on camera. I like to clean off my board as I'm going, so best I can. I don't have a rag with me, so or a hose going, so we're going to do what we can.
Could get the hose going if you want.
So on this side of the fish, you see how I took some of the dorsal fin? So again, we're just going to do it like the Chinook, and you're going to clean off what you don't want. And I don't want those dorsal bones in my fillet, so shallow cut, right along, trim it off. That's, nothing wrong with it. It's a little bit bony. You can use it as you please. A little bit of cuddy in this fillet, but whatever. Again, you feel down, find the pin bone, cut straight down to the skin. Pull and push. One piece of Lingcod. On this side again. Cut through the skin there. Knife's a little bit too sharp to be skinning fish. But again, like I said, you're gonna mess up a couple of times, so you can just kind of fix it. I'm gonna flip it over. Keep downward pressure on there. Skin the rest of that off, right?
Save.
And boom. I missed a little bit there, but nothing I can't do when I'm butchering the rest. Come down here is the bin bone line. Come along the line. Come down. I'm gonna angle my knife out, just like so. Miss those bones, and also clean off that last piece of skin. There's another piece of fish, right? And then we come over here on this side, hold down that skin, and trim that off. So if you do mess up, like I said, it's not a big deal. You kind of just roll with the punches, especially when filleting fish. So you come down, cut straight down to those ribs, and again, we're just gonna push off those ribs. Right? I see a lot of guys like they just kind of ride around this belly piece, and like with this, you're only losing 1/4 inch of meat and all the ribs, and you're getting the whole belly. I see a lot of these guys out there cutting down around those rib cage and just zipping off the top ends of the fillet.
Lazy.
And like, yeah, you got a little bit of membrane on there, but in all reality, all I gotta do is run my knife one way like this. No membrane. Flip it over. No membrane. I don't care, I'll eat the membrane. I'm not picky, but a lot of guys are. So that's how I break down rockfish and lingcod.
Sales cuts.
And yeah, like we're doing fish and chips tomorrow, so a couple pieces of fish there. And you know, I'll split this down the middle. We'll get 2 pieces out of that. It's 2 more pieces of fish. 4. Right, you know, it's quite a bit of fish there off those 2 fish. We'll probably go and collect another couple of rockfish tomorrow morning. To round out the meal, but that should be plenty for 4 or 5 people to eat. And those cheeks. Oh, and my collars. I'm gonna put these in here. So I will just fry these whole, just like this, salt and pepper, and just fry these fuckers whole. They're great. Give them a little rinse, throw them right in the hot oil. No flour, no nothing, and they're phenomenal. And it's all wrapped in the net. Not my most graceful video ever. I'll lose the scales here. So I'm busted on the surface. Oh, I can pull the jig all the way through. Alright, fuck. Alright, chill. So I'm busted on the surface. Boom, pitch in. Beautiful wild. Heading back.